This video is brought to you by Iron Sight Beast.
So this is a duos game that I played with a buddy named BMC Laughlin. He's a good player and he communicates well, so really fun to play with. So here we are looking at the map, and in this flight path, I want to choose something later in the flight path. And we both agree that the dock's a good option because it has a terminal chip and it's kind of later in the flight path and a little bit further away. And generally the dock has good loot too. So, so we decided to go there. Just as a personal preference, I like to land on the smaller area of the dock, left of the bridge. I like it for a number of reasons. It's a smaller area, so it's easier to see if anyone else drops in. There's usually sufficient loot to continue on in the game, and you know, there's a lot of buildings and boxes to maneuver around in case you do have to get in a firefight. So overall, it's just it's a good little area, and it has a chopper right next to it too.
I'll go over to the big closet.
So I just landed, and I love landing in this spot because I'm high ground, and I could just jump down to grab loot. But if I have to, or if I see someone that dropped in right away, I can grab something on the first floor and then have a visual of what's going on down below. But here I am just trying to grab whatever I can to make sure that if I do run into someone, I'm in a firefight. Generally, my favorite type of weapon setup is a striker for short range, and either an M4 or preferably an AK-47 for mid to long range. And so I'm just collecting up loot right now to make that happen. Also, one thing I like about this area is that there are 2 loot boxes. So this is kind of the normal path that I take. I go to the second level, and then I go to these loot boxes to get what I need.
Alright, the other side of the bridge.
So once I kind of clear out this area, the path that I usually take is I'll head over to the terminal chip where there are 2 loot boxes, and I'll cross over the road and hit up the larger area of the dock. I will plan on coming back to this area once the terminal chip is available because, as I've mentioned in other videos, I always strive, especially as ninja class, I always strive to get my upgrade.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
9mm.
Alright, so I just heard some gunfire, probably around my buddy. I also see some footsteps on my radar, so I know it's a bot just based on the gunfire, and then just the fact that bots don't, or regular players don't normally just run up on you like that, loud as heck. Usually a little bit more tactical, so I just take out the bot, and I'm just, you know, looting up from what they had.
Chip terminal is almost ready.
So I got my striker, I got my AK-47. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. You know, I have what I need to pretty much face what I need to. The only thing I kind of wish I had right now was a level 3 armor, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty good.
The safe zone is collapsing.
So as you can see, the safe zone started to collapse, and at that point, the terminal chip is now available. So I'm gonna head over there and grab that, and then plan on to get the helicopter and head out. So my buddy's coming in with the chopper, which is perfect because we're not in the circle and we want to get out of there. And he's going to grab that terminal chip as well, and then we'll both head out and see where we're going to go from there. At this point, I don't know where the circle's collapsed to, so we'll need to get in and figure that out. So it looks like it's by bus station. I marked a airdrop because I definitely still want a level 3. Hopefully it will have what I need. But I love airdrops just because not only do you get great armor, but usually you get some great purple attachments. Purple attachments are about as good as they get. You'll have some gold attachments, but not for rifles, really. So I'm letting my buddy take it first. Usually I'll let my teammates grab the first airdrop, and then I'll go for the second one.
There we go.
Airdrop has been delivered.
So at this point, I'm thinking about, okay, where's the next airdrop going to be? Where's the next circle going to be? And also high ground. Generally, you always want to take high ground. So you can have, it's just you have a inherent fighting advantage. At this point, we're looking for any potential teams to take down. I see a red dot out there, a drone. But at this point, I think I'm going to wait for the airdrop to come in and pick that up because I still don't have a level 3 armor.
Yeah, that's where that airdrop's in right now. Now level 2.
So I got what I needed. I got my level 3. We're just going to head back on the topper and head out of
Not
there.
much for attachments either. Yeah, I'm in. More shooting.
So at this point, I'm still thinking about my buddy getting a level 3. I want him to be properly looted up, but I'm also kind of thinking like, oh well, want to hit into a conflict, get a few kills in, get warmed up a little bit. So I'm looking for that. We just took fire, so I know someone in the area is targeting us, and the fact that we're at 48% means it's not a bot. And then sure enough, I see a sensor dart was just thrown out there, so we're looking for that.
Drone deal.
So since the circle's coming in,
Yeah. If they're in
and that location was outside of the circle, it wouldn't have been worth to drop down and get into a firefight. We would have been both fighting the other players and dealing with the circle coming in. So I just decided to go ahead and let whoever is there duke out what they need to duke out, and then head over and grab a fresh helicopter if it's there.
to make sure it's there first.
And then sure enough, we check it out, and there isn't a helicopter here, so we just keep what we have.
Looks like somebody's sniping from somewhere down there.
So, sticking with the principle of high ground, we land at the top of the highest mountain in the area, and at this point, we're just gonna scope some stuff out. And sure enough, just as always, you have some bots that pop up and want to start some stuff. This was not a bot. This is a real player, as you can see by the level 3 armor and the backpack. So he was going after my buddy, and I just flanked him.
Thought I was down.
So now we're clear, and we're debating whether or not we should go down there because we're at high ground. Anytime you go to low ground, it's a disadvantage. But at the same time, there's a lot of good loot that could come out of there, and my buddy does not have a level 3 armor. Oh, he does. He just picked it up, but it's damaged. So we decided to go down there. I pull security while he loots it up. So I'm just kind of checking the horizon.
Yeah.
And then what I love about having a fellow player that has airborne class is for this exact reason. We can easily go back to high ground without having to climb up the mountain. So at this point, we have high ground. We're waiting for the circle to finish closing in. It's got about 10 seconds before it starts closing, and just want to see where the next circle is. So high ground is always a great place to kind of hold your ground if you need to wait a little while.
3 out of that last one.
You don't always need to engage in a firefight. Part of getting to number 1 is knowing the balance between when to wait and when to engage in a firefight.
Just got shot by somebody.
That's a bot.
Got him. Okay. Guess I only took 13 health. Oh.
If you ever want to know how to spot a bot, I have a video up for that as well on how to spot a bot.
Yeah.
So as you can see in the top right, the circle's closing in. It's not that far away from us. And then really going to just see where...
And it went away real quick.
Where that next circle is going to be, unless we see someone else and engage. I'm looking for the person who has that drone, but my partner also sees someone with the drone, so we're just kind of
one over here to the left,
calling out what we see.
over there.
This is a part of good tactical play, is assessing the situation around you, identifying where potential teams are, and then coming up with the plan of attack. My buddy just shot right at him. I'm not particularly fond of that if he doesn't have a silenced sniper because it gives away our position. But considering that the circle is closing in now and we need to head into the circle, I went ahead and took this
Yeah,
route,
right behind
and
you.
he's following me right behind.
I've been hit. Engaging the enemies.
That was a bot.
Yeah.
Adrenaline shot now.
You got
So my buddy identified a player that he saw potentially over in this area, so I'm kind of just checking it out, but I don't see anyone. And then I hear this other gunfire coming from behind, which I'm pretty certain it's a bot. So I'm not too worried about it. Again, taking high ground just to kind of check out the 360 situation. Coming up pretty soon here, you're going to see a real team and how we handle that. I'm still looking for that guy that my buddy might have seen potentially. I'm not seeing anything, but I don't want to let it go without thoroughly
I saw the
checking.
bullet on the map.
The safe zone is collapsing.
I
Airdrop
don't see anybody up there.
The revived flight
On
will
the
arrive.
hills.
I go down just to get a closer look just to make sure. Notice how when I'm
There's some
looking
down in
for
the bus
someone
station.
in a very narrow view,
There's 3 or 4 of them.
I'm always moving around because in case someone sees me, I don't want them to have an easy drop on me. So my buddy identifies another
Well,
team.
I'm getting shot by somebody too.
He's getting shot. I find someone else. I find one of the team members there.
Straight out at like
I engage.
193, there's somebody with a sniper.
Down to the last 5 teams.
So that's one down, but I still have to worry about the other one. I'm outside the circle, so I'm dealing with 2 threats now. Fortunately, I'm not that far, but I do need to get out because that circle's taking off health real quick. But I'm still thinking about that guy who got away. So I know he can't be far because my buddy just went down there and I just saw a revival guy drop down there.
Teams left. Getting close to victory.
But I don't see the guy that I was just chasing after. He must have gone in one of the buildings. So I'm kind of checking this one below me just to make sure.
Flight will arrive in 1
But
minute.
obviously he's not. So now this is another kind of pro tip tactic is when you're in a small circle situation like this, you traverse the outside of the circle. It's a way to make sure that you don't have to worry about any threats coming from one side. You can just focus on the other. It's kind of a sneaky way to get around. It takes longer, so that's the downside. But now I'm looking at where the new circle is going to be, and I'm also seeing high ground.
Adrenaline.
So I want to take high ground as much as possible, given that there's another team left.
That one break.
And looking for them, and sure enough, I find them. They don't see me, so this is a perfect situation. I call over my buddy who's got a sniper. I tell him where the team is at. Let him know that they don't see us and that he should come over and start taking them out. While he starts sniping at them, we're gonna tag team. He's gonna distract them while I flank them. So you'll see that in a second here.
Yep.
So he starts doing his thing. They're kind of
One of
freaked out.
them's down.
One guy's down. They're wondering where it's coming from. The circle's coming in. So we're giving them a lot of different things to deal with at one time, which gives me kind of cover in a way to approach them without them noticing, right? He's worried about his buddy going down. He's worried about his own health. He's worried about the sniper, and he's worried about the circle that is very
It's one
close
where
to
I wish we
them.
had a scout.
So I took one guy out who was just healed, and then I'm looking for the other guy who I know just went around here somewhere. And sure enough,
outside
there he
the building.
is.
Have a winner.
And that's how we took first place. Thanks for watching, guys.